see. Hello, good morning. I think we are still in bed, right? Please, let's all wake up. Hello, good morning. That's better. And you are all welcome to Abidjan. And it's really great to see all of you. If I may ask Olympus to come down, and then Amanda? She's not here yet. Okay. It's 9 o'clock, so we're going to start. And this meeting is a closed meeting, so we are not having any public participation. It's very close. Just everyone you see over here is going to be either a direct access entity or the international access entities that have all rallied together, or a partner. So it's great to see all of you. Your presence here shows how committed you are to this initiative. And when we see the it's very, very encouraging. Very encouraging that we could all work together in Africa and rally around the direct access entities, especially using the climate rational, and then also supporting one another to advance climate finance on the continent. And we all know the objectives. Two key objectives why we are all here is to support the direct access entities. And when I was talking with a colleague, we all came to an understanding that it shouldn't be, never, that come 2025, 10 years after the operation of GCF we still have direct access entities in Africa that do not have a single funding proposal. It shouldn't be. And we could all work together to make that happen. That in the next, I think 25 is just about 2 years, right? Because we're almost in 2023. In the next 2 years, we have to rally together. At least every direct access entity in Africa should have a funding proposal approved. And that is why we are here. That is one of the objectives. The second objective, as you all know, is that this could provide us the forum for us to work together, share experiences. We've been doing it, informally, like I can call when we're developing our Rwanda Green Investment Facility. I can call Olympus and pick his brain because he's done it before, and so I can ask him, how do you do this? How did you do this? And this is what we have to do. There's no reason why a direct access entity or another accredited entity has to go through rigorous methodology. When you already have a funding proposal that has been approved, similar focus, and you have methodologies that have been approved by ITAP and the GCS Secretariat, there is no way we have to be laboring. You can just call another AE. How do you do this? How did you get this? approved. So that is the second reason to that we are here. So that we could all work together. And when we work together, we're going to advance climate finance on the continent. So thank you very much for your commitment to this. And we're going to go straight to the formal opening. And please, if we could have the yeah. So we have the opening session, partners and supporters here. And I think we will provide them the opportunity to introduce themselves. Before their intervention, but we're going to listen to the keynote speaker, and then we will give them the opportunity to do that. So.
Hello.
Is it to pay a layer profile? Wait. Okay.
Hello. Tim.
Yes. Prof, I will introduce you. They are putting the profile.
Okay. I
I'll
didn't hear
introduce you very soon.
anything.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
If it's in a church, somebody will give a chorus whilst we're waiting, but this is not. Rita, please get them to do it fast. C'est bon? Well, Yeah, we're waiting for the technical people to put their profile on, please. Okay. It's them. They have the yeah. Technology sometimes is good, but Okay, I think we don't have to wait for the technology because time is going. What's up? Oh. Of the 100 most influential people in climate policy for 2019 and for the period 2022 to 2023 by the political. So you could see that there is no one as qualified to give this keynote speech. Moreover, he's a co-recipient of the 2007 Nobel Peace Prize, the IPCC group. So you see that there is no one as qualified to deliver this keynote speech. And many of us here, he's a mentor to a lot of us. So with great expectation and respect, we want to welcome Professor Antonio Okoyong to deliver the keynote speech.
Okay. Thank you very much. I think there's an echo there somewhere. But I've always kept a very low profile because I know that a lot of people are very frustrated with GCF. I won't be surprised that if after this, some will be looking for me with stones to throw at me. Being one of those who designed the GCF, it's a very great institution. So ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for participating at this key and timely training. The timing of this training is key, given the need and urgency for climate action to tackle the climate emergency in Africa. To give you some context, the latest report of the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change shows that even if the Paris Agreement goals are met, the economic costs of climate change in Africa are projected to be large. This is due to the fact that African countries have climate-sensitive economies with low, in fact, very low adaptive capacities. Adapting to climate change seems to be the only viable solution as adaptation. Be the only viable solution, and adaptation can reduce the near-term economic costs of climate change. Early adaptation interventions we have seen have high benefit to cost ratios. Existing estimates show that benefit to cost ratios are mostly above 2-to-1 and often above 5-to-1. And in some instances, we've seen up to about 25-to-1, which means for every dollar that you invest in early adaptation, you get about $25 in return downstream. The financing for adaptation specifically and climate change broadly remains very minimal. Africa received only 3% of global climate finance flows over the period 2016 to 2019. Tim, who talked, understands my passion towards seeing this change. I call it that we need to break the curse of the 3%. And what is this 3%? Africa contributes 3% of total global emissions. Africa assesses 3% of total climate finance. The private sector, we are told, will contribute at least 75% of the finances needed for climate change globally. In Africa, is 3%. So there's something about this 3% that Africa lost so much. And through this training we're starting to do, want to break that jinx. We should not be playing in that space. If it was a tournament like the World Cup going now, maybe we would be playing in Division 20 or Division 50. For a continent as rich with resources, with so much vulnerabilities, with so much opportunities, we are doing 3%. That is totally unacceptable. Multilateral climate funds, including the Green Climate Fund, the Adaptation Fund, the Global Environment Facility, the Climate Investment Fund, and the MDBs, remain the largest source of international climate finance globally. Despite their large financing, African countries have received very limited access of financing to fund adaptation projects. The Green Climate Fund offers us a very good opportunity. I'm glad to see my brother here, on this, and several other colleagues that have worked so hard at the Green Climate Fund to ensure that Africa has the right access that it needs. I heard the moderator, Timothy, talk about submitting proposals. That's very good. But why can't we have at least the fact that every African country has a direct access entity that is established, acknowledged. Many still don't have. Like you said, 10 years after the establishment of the Green Climate Fund, this is not acceptable. We have a lot of resources out there. We complain so much how these things are so difficult, but we are seeing other regions access this same finance. We should not own the concept of vulnerabilities, of how difficult it is to access climate finance. We need to change that mentality and ensure that that fund is available. Asian countries are accessing them. Caribbean countries are accessing them. Nothing stops the African continent from accessing these funds. I know that various factors contribute to the low access rate. Understand that, but these are not impossible factors. We need to do something about that. And that is why the Africa Adaptation Acceleration Program was established as a joint initiative between the African Development Bank and the Green and the Global Center on Adaptation. Why? To mobilize $25 billion over 5 years to support adaptation efforts on the continent. And we are doing this focusing on four key areas. There's a lot that is being done out there, but what are the gaps? Where is the niche area for fresh interventions? One was on food security. How do we modernize our agriculture and adopt climate-enabled digital solutions? The next is, how do we ensure that we are building resilient infrastructure? About 70% of Africa's infrastructure is yet to be built. This is the time to do it right. And this is the time for us to actively mainstream resilience and adaptation into the infrastructure. Then the youth entrepreneurship and job creation. Speak to every African leader. This is a nightmare. Africa's median age, 19.7 years. These are very young people. And most of these do not see themselves having any opportunities. So we are saying we will work with this youth, turn them from being a liability to an asset. We will ensure that every project we intervene in must create jobs. And there are youth that don't want our jobs. They're entrepreneurial. How do we strengthen the entrepreneurship? How do we encourage them? How do we give them opportunities? These are the future, these are the ones that will be creating the jobs that will be providing the opportunities that we are talking about. So the Global Center on Adaptation and the African Development Bank have looked at this. And the fourth one is innovative finance initiatives. We cannot continue to fund climate change the way we have been funding it. It's not working. We need to think of innovative ways of doing this. So that's why we have established what we call the Technical Assistance Program, and this Technical Assistance Program is out there to see how do we encourage African countries to take advantage of innovative financing initiatives. So this technical advanced program is assistance program is expected to leverage about $1.6 billion by 2025 through 15 adaptation and resilience projects and programs with funding from public climate funds. We know that these monies are not going to be kept in supermarkets for us to go pick. They're not going to be kept on the market floor for us to go pick. We will access this through the submission of proper bankable project proposals. So this training that we have today and the next few days will target that. How do we encourage, how do we strengthen our capacities to include the climate rationale in our projects, to ensure that the projects that we submit will be funded. We need to drive more resources to Africa. First, let's take advantage of the existing resources. Then after that, or with that, we can then pursue other innovative sources. Therefore, I'm confident that with this technical assistance program, we will see a significant reduction to the barriers to large-scale access to multilateral climate funds, and an increase in the flow of adaptation finance in Africa. I wish you a very successful training session. And I look forward to all that will come in there. Like I've said, everyone should bear in mind that we, collectively and individually, can break this 3% things that is over Africa. I want to see us move to a double-digit access of global finance. I want to see us move to a double-digit access of climate finance from the private sector. Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Please. May I please request that you stand so that we give Prof another appreciated applause. Please join us. You could see the passion. You could see the passion for which he spoke. And one of the reasons why we are here, right, what we are organizing, programming, you may have already seen him, and we have Emil Delju from the WMO, and very, very passionate, and we hear the work that they are doing with GCF to get us move ahead on this. And I have my great friend Olympus Mantata. He leads the Green Climate Fund engagement at the DBSA. And then we have Madame Amanda Achibon from the GCA. And we are very glad to have partnership and such collaboration that has been forged to advance climate finance on this region. So if I may call Emil, who is on for your intervention. Emil.
Thank you very much, Tim. Good morning, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, and also good day to all of those who have joined online. My name is Emil Delju, Senior Scientific Officer from World Meteorological Organization. I've been involved in climate business for more than 18 years, where I have been working for WMO. And I've been contributed already to 17 COP sessions. Recently, COP27 was held in Sharm el-Sheikh. And you have here the loss and damage, which was on top of the agenda. We hope next year in COP28, they will decide on a funding mechanism for that initiative. At the outset, I would like to thank the African Development Bank and Global Center on Adaptation for taking the lead in organizing this important meeting. WMO and GCF have partnered since 2018 to make their efforts to mobilize the contribution of science to the decision-making process and investment based on objective, evidence-based, and data-driven conclusions. This initiative is called Climate Science for Action that we have started, as I said, since 2018. We'll explain more details jointly with Kevin in next segment of this meeting. The initiative ensures the robustness of the climate information for each project, and it gives a higher value for investment. WMO, as an expert service provider, will continue its collaboration with GCF, and we welcome expanding our strategic partnership with the climate finance community to maintain and improve the provision of climate information in response to stakeholders' feedback. However, providing the full value cycle of climate services from data to analysis, information production, interpretation of the findings, and expert advice requires investment. That's why we are here. Obviously, without financial resources, we cannot sustain this initiative. I look forward to fruitful discussions and practical recommendations out of this meeting to ensure a win-win collaboration. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Amil. So we move to Madame Amanda Achibon, Senior Partnership Manager for Africa, GC.
Thank you very much, Tim, for the introduction. Good morning, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. As has been introduced, I'm Senior Partnerships Manager at the GCA. Professor Young has given us the excellent keynote remarks on the context for which we're collaborating with the African Development Bank on the Africa Adaptation Acceleration Program and the subcomponents, the Technical Assistance Program, which is basically helping countries access better the Green Climate Fund and other multilateral funds. So what would I be speaking to? From an institutional perspective, what has been our experience from a partnership standpoint regarding the operationalization of this facility, and how do we see partnerships, through a partnerships approach, improving from the 1 year that we've already started, improving the functioning and offering of this facility. So, but you'll be hearing in more detail from my colleague Ali, representing the Technical Assistance Program, so I won't go into the detail on that program. But as a quick reflection, the program is essentially a subcomponent of the Africa Adaptation Acceleration Program, as presented by Professor Nyong, and has the overall aim to leverage $1.6 billion by 2025 through 15 adaptation and resilience projects and programs with funding from the Green Climate Fund and other public funding. And it has 3 components: building the capacity of adaptation finance planning and implementation, and then strengthening direct access to the Green Climate Fund as the DAE is here for, and then supporting portfolio development through enhancing funding proposals. So GC's engagement approach gleaned experiences in preparing funding proposals and enhancing that experience. So we see that there is opportunity to collaborate among other readiness providers. And then we know constraints posed by data availability. I'm glad to see the WMO and other partners here present. Indeed, a lot of feedback that we got was countries have a problem accessing the needed socioeconomic data to improve their proposals. for specific targets and intervention areas. So GCA runs a call for partnerships approach, basically being able to identify, being able to develop a ready pool of organizations and institutions that are readily available to support, to implement the different aspects of the Africa Adaptation Acceleration Program, which Professor Nyong had mentioned earlier. And so we see this as an opportunity to open up this pool, this call for partners to, to get other institutions that can readily provide the data, that are, that can readily provide the data needed for these countries for their funding proposals, so that this is readily available and it's not being, scrambling for it just when it's needed. So that is an approach we think we want to adopt, so that we have this ready pool. In the same vein, a simple roster of experts, as simple as the solution as it is, indeed poses a challenge, as we saw from the feedback from countries that we received. And so using the same model, having this ready pool of experts to be able to provide the necessary services as and when needed, so that it quickens and doesn't slow down the process of developing the funding proposals. And then GCA also serves as a knowledge broker. We have led 2 publications on the state and trends in adaptation in Africa, globally, focusing on Africa. We launched the latest version at COP27 just a month ago at Egypt. And indeed, we believe this is a useful opportunity for solutions, ideas, and policy recommendations on adaptation information generally, but it also serves as an opportunity to have data which entities can access for enhancing their funding proposals to strengthen those. So it will serve it could serve as a repository for lessons learned for accessing climate funds from different sources. So I think, through these different collaborative approaches, it's clear that collaboration and partnerships will help for more robust, sustainable, and enhanced climate funding proposals that can be developed by direct access entities. So just wanted to give that context, and I'm sure we can leverage on this during the discussions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Achibon. Thank you. So we move to Dr. Kevin Hosberg, lead climate scientist at the GCF.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Timothy. First of all, I'm delighted to be here, and I'd like to echo everyone's thanks and appreciation to all of those that organised this event, so that we can improve access to climate information and analysis for GCF-funded activities in Africa. And thanks to everyone that's been able to come here to Abidjan, and to those that are joining us online, because it's vital that we hear as many voices as possible to coordinate action most effectively. And it was great to hear Amanda speak about the importance of partnerships there. Partnerships is a key word. I'm very pleased to be presenting later in this programme the work that the DCF and the WMO are doing together, a number of initiatives which you'll hear more about to assist African DAEs and all of our DAEs, in fact, to interpret and access the best information for developing proposals, as well as national plans and our priorities for climate action. As we heard from Professor Anthony, even if global warming can be held to the 1.5-degree target of the Paris Agreement, the world still faces multiple hazards over the coming decades, with over 3 billion people still dangerously exposed to climate impacts. And so to achieve this transformation, the IPCC has proposed action over systems transitions, which is a systemic and complicated approach. To do that effectively requires climate finance and climate science information to come together and to unite. And the GCF so far has invested 11.4 billion US dollars into a portfolio of some 209 projects, roughly split 50-50 across mitigation and adaptation, with a total asset value of 42 billion US dollars. I'm pleased to say 85 of those projects are in African countries, but as we're here to discuss, and as Professor Anthony said, I share your ambition to find ways that we can quickly scale those numbers up, so they become even bigger. The GCF vision for promoting these transformational changes involve transformative planning, change-enabling conditions, and catalysing innovation, bringing in other imaginative, innovative financial instruments. So we're on that same journey to find those innovative solutions, providing the de-risking necessary for high-impact projects, and then finally ensuring sort of long-term sustainability, aligning finance with sustainable development. And every step in this four-pronged approach needs the best available information to assist our decision making. So, which is why we're very pleased to be speaking with the WMO about our ongoing collaboration to bring climate information to those who need to use it in order to improve access to climate finance. Tools such as the ones speaking of over the next 2 days provide the scientific knowledge that's needed for adaptation policy and planning, and they guide the selection of transformative climate actions, but ultimately those actions, of course, should be and must be owned by the countries that develop them, as well as strengthening the design of funding proposals. So at the most recent board meeting, the GCF board adopted principles-based guidance for both mitigation and adaptation, and I'll be speaking more about that and how that helps guide the development of proposals, but also helps me and my team develop the toolkit that we think is going to be useful and is going to assist all of our stakeholders in following that principled guidance. And in support of that, and we'll talk more about this, we're creating an online portal of resources backed up by an international expert advisory forum, and those joint initiatives will help to answer questions about where is best information, what is the best available information, and as in fact you're already doing, and as Timothy said, sharing knowledge about where that information is so that we don't have to constantly reinvent it, so that we can be efficient and effective. So thank you for the opportunity to make some opening remarks. I look forward very much to the next 2 days. The most important thing for me here is not to be speaking actually, but to be here so I can listen, so that I can listen to you, so that I can listen to you, our most important stakeholders, and work together to find the ways we need to provide better support for the development of proposals and plans. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Kevin. And you'll be hearing a lot. Actually, tomorrow, we've dedicated tomorrow to action. Not less speaking, but action. And your expertise is going to be very much needed as we see the gaps that needs to be addressed. So thank you very much. I will move to Olympus Mantata, Head of Climate Finance at the DSA.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. I think most of what I wanted to say has been echoed by most of the speakers already. And I'm quite convinced that our ability to be able to accelerate our access to climate financing sits on how we leverage partnerships. Where we have knowledge sitting among DAs and is being shared to accelerate climate finance, I think that needs to be done. And I believe within this forum, we are going to have an opportunity to strengthen that. From a DBSA point of view, we have always found that to be a very important thing. Actually, we've worked a lot with various GFIs in other countries to see how we share lessons first to accelerate, the ability of a number of DFIs getting accredited to the GCF. But when you do that, you quickly learn that getting accreditation is half of the journey. After you get accredited, it's a question of saying, what do you do with it? It's not necessarily a guaranteed position to say you will see financial flows coming your way. We've been lucky on our side to see relatively good success with regard to projects approved for financing, but most of those have been more in the mitigation space. We suffer the same challenges where adaptation is concerned. I'm sure Kevin would remember that quite recently we were seeking his assistance with one of adaptation initiatives that we're working on, and appreciate the assistance that we got. So which to me makes this meeting very important, because the support for DAEs to enhance climate data and information cannot be overemphasized where the need to mobilize climate financing is concerned. And this is even more underscored by the requirements from ITEP point of view with regard to rigorous climate rational analysis. But what I'm happy about today is that this meeting is not about us sitting and complaining, but it's about us finding a solution. So I think that is key. So I believe this meeting is going to be quite practical around finding solution, and I'm excited about it. My interaction with a number of DAEs is that there's a lot of enthusiasm about what we are doing here today and what it can produce. And I'm convinced that that enthusiasm is not going to be disappointed. The reason why I'm saying that is because I believe we've got the right people around the table. We've got the WMO, the GCA, of course the GCF, and our regional climate centers, who I believe are very key partners in the work we seek to do here. So I would like to take this time and really express my appreciation and gratitude to my brother Timothy and the team that has been working around this. I know there's a lot of work that has gone into this. That is really appreciated. And I believe, team, when we crack the 3% barrier, we should remember that this was part of the journey there. So I'm excited about that. So I'm looking forward to this coming 2 days. This is going to be a practical meeting, a fruitful meeting, and it's going to produce results that we will all be proud of in the very near future. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Olympus. And so we know that there are several DAEs, actually with DAE, that you could partner with. So please, let's try and, take recognizance of people's names and where they are as they introduce themselves. Thank you. So we're going to start. Can we please go to the DAEs before we come to you? Okay. So the DAEs, and we have regional climate centers. May I see the regional climate centers representatives? Oh, doctor. Regional climate centers representatives. Okay. Regional climate centers. Okay, that's okay. So please, if we could introduce the DAEs, and then we give you opportunity, the regional climate centers, to also introduce yourself first, and then the partners. So only DAEs now. Let's start with that. Okay.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Mike Jennings. I'm from the South African National Biodiversity Institute in South Africa. And we've been a direct access entity, I think, since 2016 or so. We're still in the process of submitting our first fund proposal, which I'll present to you later tomorrow. So thanks for the opportunity to be here, and I'm looking forward to the 2 days.
Good morning and thank you. My name is Mluntikani. I'm also from the South African National Biodiversity Institute, and I'm here with my colleague, and we're all working basically on various projects, and he will speak more on our focus area. Thanks.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Alioune Seydi. I'm the MNE at La Banque Agricole. La Banque Agricole is the second access entity after the CSE. We have one concept not always accepted by the GCF, and we'll present it tomorrow.
Hello everyone, my name is Daniel Opuni-Frepon. I'm with EcoBank Ghana. I believe we are the only accredited entity in Ghana, and we are in the process of submitting our first proposal, and I believe we'll provide more information on that when given the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Just for your notice, we have translation. So the translating equipment is on your table. Yeah.
Good morning. My name is Aziz Belhamra from Sahara and Sahel Observatory. We are regional direct access entity. During the last board of GCF, we had our first project for national project with GCF for Guinea-Bissau. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Kingsley Adfo-Addo. I'm also from EcoBank, and as Daniel indicated, we had our accreditation in 2019 and still in the works of submitting our maiden proposal. However, we've also formed some partnership with some accredited entity, including AFDB, and are in the process of implementing one funded project from GCF. That's the Affirmative Finance Action for Women in Agric with AFDB as a co-executing entity. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Musonda Mutale. I'm the Chief Investment Officer at Development Bank of Zambia. We only got accredited last year with the GCF, so we're in the process of working through the documentation and be able to access financing from the GCF. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Andrew Muyala. I'm the head of corporate and investment banking for Zanaco, the biggest commercial bank in Zambia. We got accredited in the last board meeting, which was in October, and we are still processing the documentation. We hope to complete all the documentation quite soon and begin to access the funding. Thank you very much.
Good morning. My name is Mnalola Mlondo. I'm also from Zanaco, Zambia. As Andrew has said, we only got accredited in the last board meeting. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Patrick Mubinga. I'm from Equity BCDC in DRC. I'm in charge of energy, environment and climate change, and we are all to be DA here because we are in journey. Okay.
Thank you. Merci.
Bonjour. Good morning. My name is Fidel Quadio, and I represent the Interprofessional Fund, FICA, which is an Ivorian fund in the agricultural sector. We've been invited to come and learn from the direct entities, direct access entities. So it's an opportunity for us to thank the AFDB for their support and to let them know that we are ready to work to get this accreditation. Thank you.
Bonjour à tous.
Good morning, Eric Amsu. I'm from the BOAD, the West African Bank of Development. We are considered as a direct access entity for this part of West Africa. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Naona Berger. I come from Benin, from the National Fund for the Environment and Climate, which exists since 2019. And we are working on a financing program that I will present tomorrow. Thank you.
I'm Elijah Isabu. I'm from ECB Bank. So we were accredited the year 2019. So we have a couple of projects which are on concept note phase with GCF. hoping to take the next level of full funding proposal. Thank you.
Good morning. Ann Gatero from National Environment Management Authority in Kenya. We were accredited as a DA in 2016. We were able to secure our first GCF approval in 2021. We haven't been able to commence the project, but we'll be sharing our experience more in tomorrow's session. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Joseph Lue from Uganda, Minister of Water and Environment. We are also accredited in 2018. We are stuck at concept note, but working with other UNDP and other partners, we've been able to implement GCF projects, but we've not yet secured our own as a DA.
Thank you.
Bonjour à tout le monde.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Mamadou Gueye. I'm from the Guarantee Fund from Senegal. I will let our first General Secretary to present. Thank you very much. My name is Teresa Fredjouf, and the General Administrator of the Fund. We are seeking accreditation with the GCF at the moment. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Carl Aribep. I am from Namibia, Environmental Investment Fund of Namibia, the only direct access entity currently accredited to GCF, accredited 2016. Re-accredited last year. We have been implementing since 2018 a portfolio of 4 GCF projects, 2 of which are now approaching close out terminal evaluation phase, and we've just embarked on a new round of programming, 2 concepts already on the table for discussion with GCF. We've been invited here to learn and also to share in some of our programming experiences with GCF. I'll be making a short presentation tomorrow, sharing some of our humble experiences. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Charlotte Ludi from KCB Bank. We were accredited as a bank in 2019, currently looking at several concept notes, going into the funding proposal stage. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good morning. My name is Kojo Kwachijan, and I come from Ghana. I work with the Ghana Infrastructure Investment Fund. I believe when it comes to GCF accreditation, probably will be the babies in the room. But with the support of the Global Center on Adaptation, we believe that soon we'll get our accreditation from the GCF. We are going through the process. Thank you.
Bonjour à tout le monde.
Good morning, everyone. Aizato Bubusal. I work in the Monitoring Center for the Ecology in Senegal. We are accredited. We've been accredited since 2010, and since 2015, accredited with the Green Climate Fund, and we were re-accredited in 2022. We are working on a complete project with a simple procedure, and we are very active in everything that concerns the windows of GCF, and we are working with the ACCFs, and we are working with the territorial collectivities in Senegal, and we have a project that is being funded with ACCF. And our objective in being here is to share with you. Good morning. I'm Razi from Morocco. I represent the Agency for Agricultural Development. which is part of the Ministry of Agriculture. We have been accredited since 2012 by both the Green Climate Fund and the Adaptation Fund. And we have a project which is being finalized, and we are planning to work on 3 other projects. Thank you.
All the directors entities in Africa here, with the exception of one. And it's great to have you all here, and we believe that enthusiasm, we're going to see results. We also have a representative that has been sent from the African NDAs, who is here, and we're going to give the opportunity to Mr. Odengo, Peter Odengo, to also introduce and then share a lot of them.
Thank you very much, Timothy. My name is Peter Odengo. I am from Kenya, and I've been working with the GCF in Kenya as NDA since 2013. And in 2015, we saw the problem of Africans not accessing the GCF when GCF convened the first Africa NDAs in Alexandria, 2015. We agreed as NDAs then to come up with a network to see how we can support one another. This network is called Africa Areas Network, AFDAN. The purpose of the AFDAN is simply to work together as African and GCF NDAs and link with direct access and indirect access. And the NDA's focal points are very, very, very important cog within the two. Direct access, because a letter of no objection is very important, and the circle is also may belong. So I've worked with Timothy. In Namibia, we consulted with the professor, and in COP20, Malashal, AFDAN was fully relaunched with one objective. Adaptation is the priority of Africa, and we need to accelerate access to climate finance through direct access entities, the skills we have. So I'm here to represent them, and I'm here to look for partnership on how, no objections, on how capacity can be enhanced so that the 3% jink is broken by January 2023. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Pierre. Welcome. So now we're going to the RCC, the Regional Climate Centers. And I'll start with Dr. here.
Good morning, everyone. My name's Paulino Mochumai. I work for IGAD Climate Prediction and Application Center, ICAC, based in Nairobi, Kenya. We, as the Regional Climate Center, our mandate to serve 11 countries, 8 IGAD countries, Kenya, Sudan, South Sudan, Somalia, Ethiopia, plus Tanzania, Rwanda and Burundi, 11 countries. I work in a section dealing with climate services, especially climatology. This is a section dealing with climate information for yesterday. Then you are going back to May years. Also, we have a section dealing with climate prediction at the seasonal and sub-seasonal, and also long-term climate change in terms of projection. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Bonjour tout le monde.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Hassan Agali. I'm an expert in agriculture and meteorology, in charge of climate adaptation at the Regional Center, AgriMet. SILS. The SILS is the interstate center for research in the Sahel. It has 13 members in West Africa, but it has activities in all the 17 ECOWAS countries. We are already an accredited entity with the Green Climate Fund, and currently we are in the process of accreditation for direct access. Thank you.
Bonjour tout le monde.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Bashir Al-Khalidou. I'm an hydrology expert in the Niger Basin, and this is a sub-regional organization which comprises 9 member states from ECOWAS, including with Chad and Cameroon in addition. And in order to get the support of the Green Climate Fund, this started with the Integrated Program for Climate Change, which is an ongoing program in the Niger Basin for an amount of more than $200 million. And 29% of this is provided by the GCF, and with the support of the African Development Bank, this program is being implemented in order to preserve the basin, the Niger Basin, and improve the resilience for the production system of the populations. We started in 2019, and we are very proud of this program and proud of the support we are receiving. For today, we are very much interested in the data. We believe that this aspect of preservation of the Niger Basin will give us an opportunity to enlarge this fund in order to address the issue of data collection in order to manage the resources in the Niger Basin. Thank you.
Bonjour à tous.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Dr. Pascal Ndri from the Climate Center in Central Africa, which is an institution specialized from the community of Central African states. I'm in charge of meteorology and environmental support. Thank you.
Meteorological organization here from Côte d'Ivoire, and Dr. Paul.
Bonjour,
Good morning. My name is Dr. Kwaku Bernard from Sodexam. It's a national meteorological service, and Sodexam manages the airport platforms, but also the meteorological service of Côte d'Ivoire. We are responsible for the collection of data, the training, the help to the users, and also the climate monitoring. I think that's enough.
All the RCCs, with the exception of SADC, we have all the RCCs here. So there is no need, there is no way also that we will be lacking meteorological data. ITAP is requesting about 30 years, and we will be following up with you to make sure that we have all the data to help us break the 3%. And the man that we'll be focusing on, that's the man who coordinates with all the RCCs, and is good that he introduce himself.
Thank you very much, team. Okay, good morning, everyone. Good morning, my colleague. And I'm very happy to see you coming here, because listen to my friend close to me, data is something very important. You cannot make any kind of infrastructure without data. Adaptation It's not working? Yeah, you cannot make adaptation without data. Any infrastructure without data. Also in energy, without data is energy. So my name is Jodoni Gudu. I'm climate risk and disaster officer at the bank at the Clean Dev Special Fund. We started Clean Dev in 2014 and the task manager of those climate centers operation and also for national net observation network services and climate services. So what I want is here, I'm very happy to see the DIS coming here, the representative of the countries and the institution. We need to work very hard to understand the best practice of a climate rational. And the bank will tell you and present the example of successful operation we have, but it's not the end. We have a lot of things to do. We need the data, a very good data, reliable data, and also we need statistical data, meteorological data, hydrological data. So the 2 days, I think that is very important to us to listen from you, your question, how do you want us to do to present more for the proposal of the GCF? Because now what's happened for the countries, all the countries presenting the proposal, but any justification of climate change, any justification of climate data, historic data. So that's very important. So thank you, and we'll be very happy to working with you.
Thank you very much, Dieudonné. And we actually have one direct access entity that also joined us very soon. So we're going to give the opportunity to introduce yourself.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. My name is Dr. Mitima Juma Mani. I'm coming from DRC. I'm a director executive at Equity Bank Congo. I'm in charge of the social investment. I know that some of you are probably not familiar with the concept. In Equity Bank, we are representing the foundation in DRC, but we are trying to make sure that the private sector is more engaged, bringing impacts within our community. So we try to have the two engines, which is the financial one, which is the bank, and the social one, which is working with community through innovative projects, make sure that we also share and improve the socio-economy of that population. So I'm here with my head of the pillar energy and environment because we try to make sure to understand how we can help our country and our community to access better to the green funds in DRC, but also we are already starting implementing some other projects in the same sense and try to see how we could improve our partnership with the government. Thank you.
Thank you very much and welcome. So what we are seeing, there are a lot of people who work at the background, and I believe that most of you or all of you know Winnie, but there are other people who work together, and we're going to give the opportunity for the AFEB and GCA colleagues to also introduce themselves, and then we will go to the final part of it. So Winnie, we can never start without you first. Okay.
Oh my God. Hello, it's nice meeting you. I think I have interacted with many of you. Now I can put the faces, the names. So pleasure meeting you all.
Thank you. Well, everyone, welcome. Vijan again. I'm Ali Haider. I'm Senior Program Officer working with the Global Center on Adaptation. And under this leadership of team, we're organizing this event and looking forward to engage with all of you.
All right. Good morning, colleagues. My name is Rita Efa. I'm a Senior Climate Finance Officer at the African Development Bank. I also coordinate the Africa Climate Change Fund, which we will be sharing a little bit more with you during the program. Thanks.
Thank you. Shakil?
Thank you, Tim. Good morning, everyone. I'm Shakil BAC, part of the GCF coordination team within the bank. I'm very happy to be here amongst you, and hopefully this will be the event that will kickstart big things to come for the DAs, and we'll be able to mobilize resources. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Modani Ndohio, a climate change and green growth specialist at the Africa Development Bank. I'm based in Nairobi, covering the East Africa region. We support the GCF coordination team when it comes to regional projects in East Africa. And we also help in enhancing access climate finance for our regional member countries and also on NC implementation. Thank you.
Sandy? Okay.
Bonjour, Sandy.
Good morning, Sen Kwame. I'm a senior program officer, climate change.
Very happy to be here today with you. My name is Paul Vernus. I'm a research analyst at the Global Center on Adaptation, and we'll give you a presentation this afternoon on our work on how to better integrate the socio-economic dimension of climate change in climate action. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Fleur Otterser. I'm the Director of Research at the Global Center on Adaptation. Very happy to be here.
Good morning. Bonjour à tous.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Leila Mohamed, and I will be joining the team very soon. Thank you.
Thank you all, and you are all welcome. And we appreciate the collaboration and the commitment. So the final part of the formal opening, we're going to hear some relevant information about adaptation, some of the decisions that came out of COP27, and Madame Audrey Majako is here to provide us. She just came fresh from El Sham. She's here to provide us. Some of us were not able, so fortunate to go to El Sham, to brief us on that. So, Madame.
Thank you very much, Timothy. Please allow me to stand up because it's really cold here, so it will warm up a little bit. Thank you for allowing me to talk after this introduction, because more importantly is to meet you. We are here to support you as direct access entities. You are the one who will implement climate action on the ground. So I'm very happy to be there with you today. I will also want to thank our honorable host, the African Development Bank, the Global Center on Adaptation, WMO, the GCF, and also the Africa Climate Change Funds for organizing these 2 days of workshop. Thank you very much. I'm Audrey Cynthia Yamajako. I'm Principal Climate Finance Officer at the African Development Bank. I'm also the coordinator of the African Green Bank Initiative. And I'm here today to talk about a little bit of the outcomes, the relevant outcomes of COP27. COP27 is known as the implementation COP. So what we can take from this COP. First, as Mr. from Delju from the WMO just said, important outcome of this COP is this political engagement around this fund on loss and damage. It was requested from the African group of negotiators already for 30 years. And it's really important because the less polluter are mostly the ones who are suffering the most of the adverse effect of climate change, and this is bringing more justice to this climate action. And the modality of the implementation of these funds needs to be developed through this coming month. Who will access to this fund? Who will capitalize this facility? But also the modality of the project will be able to access some countries. So this is now coming. It's important. This was also very important to highlight. This is a very big important step in this climate action. Concerning climate finance. A bigger huge was asked to increase the level of climate finance available. First, by also changing completely the financial sector. We need to transform the financial sector to bring more private investment. This is really important and mandatory. As Professor Anthony Young just said, 75% need come from private sector, private investment. If we want to implement our NDCs, 75%. Compared to only 13% in Africa. So what does it mean? It means that today only 87% comes from the public fundings in Africa. 87% is a big amount when we know that currently we are already in a situation of country indebtedness. So it means that 10% of GDP in Africa, of our African country, need to be mobilized above the current level of public resources already available. So I just give you how big is this importance to bring private sector in this action, especially in Africa. Another urge was done towards the multi-development banks, but also the FIs, to change their business model, to mobilize more climate finance for globally, but also for the continent, to also scale up these resources by bringing more financing, and also the MDB are used to develop more instruments which will support de-risking the transaction and allow the private sector to step in this action. So those are mainly the outcome of 27. What IFDB, the African Development Bank, is doing in this era, because we didn't wait for COP27 to start implementing. So the IFDB, African Development Bank, has doubled its ambition. So after having mobilized 12.5 billion USD in climate project, the IFDB is now doubling its ambition to 25 billion by 2025 as climate finance. Today is currently happening the new ADF 16 replenishment. So the African Development Bank is now negotiating in Morocco to create a climate action windows, which will be dedicated to support countries by providing concessional resources for climate finance. It's really important. We'll have the total envelope in coming days, in the coming weeks. So this is currently happening in Morocco. The African Development Bank is also supporting the transformation of the financial sector through the African Financial Alliance on Climate Change, AFAC, which is bringing the financial sector practitioner, it's the commercial banks, the central banks, regulators, insurance company, but also stock market practitioner. So we bring all those people around the table, so they will lead, they will be informed in terms of what are the climate risk, environmental risks they should care of in terms of when they develop their pipeline, but also when they evaluate their portfolio. This also supporting them to think about how they can green more their investment, but also how they can be in the coming years Paris aligned. We are also under this umbrella of AFAC, which is really bringing all the financial sector at the table. We have the Green Bank initiatives. I'm coordinating. These Green Bank initiatives aim to create an ecosystem of green envelope of fundings. It can be at BOAD, it can be at EcoBank, to develop and to structure an envelope of green funding dedicated to invest in sustainable projects. The idea is that we have more and more of this vehicle available, which at the local level, because those are the ones who knows what are the risks locally, how they can support the SMEs or project owner in bringing more well-structured and bankable projects and finance it. So at the African Development Bank, we scale up our resources available for climate action. Second, we support the financial sector to transition to more green business model, and we also develop instruments which will allow to finance adaptation. For example, we are the only MDBs who are providing a solution under the Article 6.8, a non-market mechanism, which is called the adaptation-based benefit mechanism, and this is an important result-based financing, which now make adaptation projects which allow adaptation to be to bring, to raise some, to generate, some earnings, but also in the coming years be as well bankable. So this is what we do at the African Development Bank, and what is really important, because we need to see and to show that there is a lot of opportunity for Africa, for you as practitioner in this climate action. These opportunities, you see that there is more and more climate resources coming. This COP27 urged the developing country to do what they have committed to, this 100 billion per year as they pledge to provide climate finance. So there is more resources to come. There are also some sector of investment which are really important. We know that to meet and to stay under this 2% degree increase, we need to increase by 45% our investment in renewable energy. So, those are very big sectors which we need to be developed, and we need more and more projects on the ground at the country level, at the local level. So you see these opportunities in terms of sizing the resources who is coming and developing pipeline of good projects. There will also, as the GCA will not say the contrary, but on the main opportunity in Africa stays in adaptation. We need to double the finance available for adaptation, and Africa can benefit from it by developing strong pipeline of adaptation projects. So those are the opportunities. I will conclude that we need to work hand in hand around this baobab tree, which is our continent. We are using all this opportunity to develop bankable infrastructure pipeline. You are the practitioner, you are the one who will do that on the ground, and we are helping to support you in terms of capacity building, trying to bring more finance to support your project. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Audrey. So we did very well with time. So why not just give yourself an applause? We did very, very well on time. It's supposed to end at 10:30. We did it 10:27 now. So we also have about 22 people linked via Zoom. And because this program is a closed event, it's either you are DAE or any of the partners. And we know that those who are joining in, most of them are direct access entities who could not travel, but all the representatives are here. But the extra ones that could not come because of some other engagement are also following us online. So are our colleagues from AFDB, GCA, and I saw two colleagues also from GCF also logged in on the Zoom. So we want to acknowledge you. Time may not permit us to give all of you the opportunity to introduce yourself, but we've acknowledged you, and we are glad that you are, with us in spirit, if not in body, but you are with us in spirit and mind. And thank you very much for that. So we bring the formal section to an end, and it will be good for us to, those of us who are here, to have a photo together. Those on the Zoom, I don't know how technology we haven't managed yet, but for those of us here, please come and let's have a photo shoot together. Here. This, yeah. Then from after the photo shoot, we're going to have a coffee break, and then we'll be having the DAE plenary section. So our colleagues joining us on Zoom, if you could just take break, we'll be reconvening after the photo shoot and the tea break. Please